This podcast is supported by The Real Real.
You know what I love most about the holidays? Giving gifts. But not just any gifts. Real gifts. Thoughtful gifts. Oh my God, how did you know gifts? That's why I love gift shopping with The Real Real. The Real Real is the most trusted name in authenticated luxury resale. And it's a holiday shopping secret I'm going to let you in on. Whether it's a surprisingly affordable, pristine condition bag for your BFF, a vintage find that's cool enough for the Gen Zer in your life, or even something your impossible to shop for dad will love. Get used to saying I found it on The Real Real. Seriously, with over 10,000 new arrivals dropping every day from brands like Gucci, Fendi, Prada, Louis Vuitton, Tiffany & Co., and Cartier, there's guaranteed to be something for everyone on your list. Oh, and did I mention everything's up to 90% off retail?
Get $25 off your first purchase at therealreal.com. That's therealreal.com to get your $25 off. Therealreal.com.
Welcome back to another episode of the Girl Stop Playing podcast. It's your favorite homegirl, Coriel, here to encourage you to stop playing with your potential and start working for what you want in life and in love. You already know that I'm bringing you the information and the conversation to help you make the money and get the honey. You can have it all as long as you are willing to work. And y'all, this episode is inspired by my own foolishness, okay? I, as y'all know, am 6 weeks postpartum right now, so all of the life lessons that I'm learning in this season are through my child and just through the act of mothering. It's so crazy how much I have had to raise myself, or how much mothering has raised me while I'm over here thinking that I'm raising these kids. And any mothers out there, you can absolutely relate to the fact that you can be in the middle of teaching your child something, hear yourself saying the words out loud, and learn the lesson yourself. It's such a crazy experience that we're literally growing as we are watching our children grow, or we should be, at least. Let me say that. So the other day, I wake up bright and early in the morning, and I woke up before my baby woke up. So when she woke up, or when she was about to wake up, I could hear that she sounded like she was breathing funny. And it sounded like, I don't know, is it congestion? It just sounded like, something was in there, whether it was her nose, her throat, something was somewhere, and I felt like I could hear it. So she was making this sound, and I'm like, oh no, okay. Now let me preface this by saying I am a worrier, okay? So when I'm having all these conversations with y'all about mindset, it's because I've personally had to learn the power of changing your mind in order to change your circumstances, your situation. It all depends on what you think and how you think. So I know this because I'm so much of a worrier. I've had to learn this lesson the hard way several times. So before I had this baby, I knew, obviously, I'm having a baby in October. October is right at the beginning of the winter flu season. I've been seeing people talking about COVID coming back around, RSV spreading, through the kids at the schools. I know of all of these things, and I know the season that we're in. So I was already paranoid because if a newborn baby picks up a germ, it can have a completely different impact on a newborn than it would have on, a 40-year-old or even a 4-year-old. Just totally different conversation. What you can do for a newborn is totally different. What a doctor can do for a newborn is totally different. It's just a completely different situation. So me knowing that, me also having a 4-year-old that goes to school, that is around several children every single day, exposed to several germs every single day. Their classroom just had hand, foot, and mouth twice in the last 60 days. So me knowing all of that and knowing that I was bringing a newborn baby into a very vulnerable season, I was already paranoid. So when we wake up and I hear this unsettling sound that just sounds like congestion, that's the only way I could describe it. It was like rattling. I'm instantly paranoid. So she doesn't immediately wake up. I told y'all she's like Sleeping Beauty. She can sleep through anything, it seems like. So she doesn't wake up. So I leave her. I go downstairs and I start spiraling. I'm thinking about the fact that we just went on this road trip to Orlando, thinking about the fact that she was around all her cousins. She was around, friends and all of the family. People were holding her. People were breathing on her. I'm instantly regretting going to Orlando, and I'm blaming myself like, you shouldn't have gone. You should have known better. You've been seeing these posts like you should not have taken that trip. It was too soon. Then I'm thinking about the fact that, the boys, my kids, want to be all over her. Like, they love their baby sister. And mommy is like, no, please stand back. Don't breathe on her. Don't touch her. Keep the germs away. But they want to be all over her. So I'm thinking about, oh my God, I'm going to have to really keep these boys away from her now. She done picked up a germ. She's, she has congestion. Oh my God, I'm literally spiraling. I'm like, I'm going to have to call my husband. My husband was at work. He is a pharmacist. So he works at like the urgent care center. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to call him. I'm gonna have to take this baby in. Like, I am spiraling. Okay. The intrusive thoughts are taking over. So she finally wakes up and she's still making this sound, y'all, because I have convinced myself, like, maybe I was just paranoid. Maybe I was tripping. Like, when I go back and get her, the sound is gonna be gone. So I go back to get her. The sound is not gone. Bring her downstairs. And again, I feel like I'm like pacing back and forth, literally spiraling, making the boys breakfast. All of these thoughts running through my head. I'm a terrible mother. I've exposed my child to all of these germs. These strangers were touching her. I should not have done it. Like, I knew better. I was already having seconds. I'm thinking all of these thoughts. I'm about to have to call my husband. Gonna have to pack up this car, take all of these kids down to the urgent care. Like, this is where I am. Spirit says, look in her nose. Look in her nose. Like, that's what I heard. In the middle, like, it interrupted my spiraling intrusive thoughts. Look in her nose. Y'all. And the baby was up on my shoulder at this point. I was holding her like up over my shoulder. I turned that baby around. I'm kind of almost ashamed to say that when I turned the baby around, there was a boogie in her nose. Y'all, there was a booger in my child's nose that was obstructing the airway and causing her to breathe funny and make this congested sound. I grabbed that booger out of her nose so fast. It was big. I mean, it was obvious why she couldn't breathe, but I got it out of there. And all I could do is laugh. And I was just hugging her so tight and just laughing at myself. And I was literally just saying outside, girl, relax. Girl, you got to relax. Like, you have to calm down. You have to relax because you are tripping. Not only are you tripping, you are literally down here spiraling, about to call your husband at work, panicking. And the baby had a booger in her nose. And I just had to take a step back and take a moment, laugh at myself, first of all, because how ridiculous am I? How embarrassed would I have been if I would have called my husband and then it turned out to just be a booger in her nose? Like, how embarrassing. But then also, how often do I do this? How often do I spiral with all of these ridiculous thoughts? The worst case scenario where my mind instantly, constantly goes preparing for the worst. How often am I flooding my brain with all of this BS about stuff that could possibly be going wrong, and it's literally no big deal? Something so simple that I could handle in 30 seconds, in 30 minutes. But I'm spiraling, thinking that my life is over, thinking that things are ruined, thinking that it is the end. And God is like, girl, sit down somewhere. Girl, stop playing. In this situation, it was, girl, look at her nose. Like, stop doing all of that. Can you just relax? Can you have several seats right now? Because you are spiraling. You're acting delusional. You are filling your head with all of these crazy thoughts. And it's really something so simple. And I know that I'm not the only one who does this. Like, I know that I do this. I remember being in therapy and my therapist literally telling me, like, you got to get out of your own head. You are ruining things. You are sabotaging things. You are turning opportunities into obstacles when they're doesn't have to be. Like, you don't have to make so much trouble for yourself, but you are allowing your intrusive thoughts to win. I remember this being a conversation like a decade ago. Okay, so clearly I'm still doing the work. But I know I'm not the only one doing this. So I wanted to bring this conversation to you and ask you to consider how often you spiral, how often you allow those intrusive thoughts to take over, how often you find yourself in your head thinking about the worst possible scenario, thinking about everything that could go wrong, going wrong. How often have you done it? How often have you stolen your own joy? You can't even enjoy the things that you are doing in the present moment because you are spiraling about what could potentially be happening in the future. Allow this episode to be a wake-up call. Allow this episode to encourage you to be intentional and to really take inventory of the times that you find yourself in your head. Think about what you're thinking about. That's another strategy that I picked up in therapy. Think about what you are thinking about. Why are you having this thought in this moment? Why did my mind instantly go to, you're a terrible mother, you knew better, you shouldn't have done it? Like, why did I instantly start attacking myself? My inner dialogue is not that loving. That's a whole conversation. That's a whole something else that I need to consider and I need to work through. And that is something that I could be working on while I'm spending my time over here spiraling. So thinking about what you're thinking about, considering how often you allow yourself to spiral with unrealistic, unfounded, ridiculous, silly thoughts. You're over here stressing about a problem that you don't even have. You're creating a problem for yourself. Not only was I creating a problem for myself, I was about to create a problem for my husband. I was about to create a problem down at his job because whatever he was working on was about to be interrupted because I was allowing my intrusive thoughts to take over. So our thoughts, even though they are our own, what we do with those thoughts, the actions that are inspired by those intrusive thoughts usually affect and impact other people. So you could literally be impacting your loved ones. Your kids could be impacted. Your bestie, your bae, your husband, your mama could be impacted because of the intrusive thoughts that you are having. So it's time for us to think about what we're thinking about. It's time for us to get out of our own way, stop sabotaging ourselves with these crazy thoughts, these limiting beliefs. Okay? I just have to laugh at myself a lot of times to keep from crying from the craziness. I gotta laugh. And so a lot of the lessons that I am learning in this season are sponsored by motherhood because I am in the thick of it over here. So much so that I've realized the lack of resources that are out here for mothers that are not necessarily related to your life being, like, I feel like you get resources when you're like on the ropes and like life is almost over. You are knocked down, drag out, your kids are hungry. Like, that's when you get resources. But the resources that we need before we end up needing those resources is what I feel like is very limited. The village that we always seem to read about on social media, but I mean, I don't know too many people that are personally experiencing it. That village, like, where is that? The voice of reason, the shoulder to cry on, the person to vent to, the community to say, hey, is this normal? Like, before you go Googling and thinking that, everybody in the house is about to die, before you spend your time doing that, do you have a community of people with common sense who you can turn to, who are not spiraling, who you can turn to and ask, hey, is this normal? What do y'all think about this? What you think is going on here? What do you think I should do to move forward? How can I best handle this? Like, that resource, in my opinion, is few and far between. It does exist, but it's not widely known enough. And so I am getting back out in these streets, y'all. And when I say in these streets, I'm still going to be at my house. But I mean, showing my face, feeling like myself, feeling okay with being seen. These last 5 years, I feel like motherhood has had me on the ropes. It has had me feeling like I'm drowning. It's had me looking for a life raft of just like, who am I in this season? What is life requiring of me at this time? What is this new responsibility going to require of me? Just all of the things have taken me down, if I'm being honest. And a lot of y'all have noticed, y'all have sent DMs, y'all have reached out. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you noticing the difference. I appreciate being seen. I appreciate y'all still being here all these years later. It's literally been 10 years of podcasting. So I appreciate y'all. But in this new season, I am being led to start using my voice in other ways outside of the podcast. This podcast has absolutely become probably more therapeutic for me than it is for you all at this point. It is my outlet. It is my opportunity to share, to teach, to, just be a vessel. That is my goal, to allow my voice to be a vessel. And so I am getting back into my YouTube. I have challenged myself to post new content, to go live or upload a video on YouTube every single day this month. So 30 days of content just to get myself back in the game, get my energy back up, get my spirit together. And again, these outlets are just as helpful and beneficial for me as they are for you. So if you are interested in being a mom, or if you are currently a mom or preparing to become a mom, I am talking all things mindset, motherhood, and some money over on YouTube. So come on over, hit subscribe. There will be new content and new conversations every single day. And I would love for you to join me over there. If you are an entrepreneur, I'm also getting back into one of the things that I have been most proud of, which is being able to use my platforms to promote my people. I truly believe one of the best ways outside of us rebuilding the Black family, one of the best ways that we can move the Black community forward is through Black business. It's through building Black wealth, and entrepreneurship for most of us is the vehicle to build that Black wealth. And so this month I am doing a virtual celebration of Black businesses. It's called Black Holiday 2025. And if you are interested in having your business being featured, I'm using my Instagram, my YouTube, and the podcast to promote businesses. And I would love to promote yours. So if you want to be featured, I will make sure I drop that link down below for you to learn more. If you are not a business owner, share this with your favorite entrepreneur who might want to be featured. There's over 250,000 people that are locked in across my platforms that they have the opportunity to put their business in front of. So definitely tap the link below to learn more. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode, and really sit with that question. Have that conversation with yourself about the times that you are in your head, the times that you are sabotaging yourself by creating a story that does not exist. I love you, got nothing but love for you, and I will catch you on the next episode.